Alright, so we're going to enter the statistical data on our calculator. First step is we need to clear the memory. So we go Shift 9 3 equals. Now that we've cleared the memory, we need to turn it into stats mode. To do that, we press mode 2 1. You always select 1 at that screen. Now that we've got the score column, we want to add a frequency column. To add the frequency column, we go Shift mode, arrow down, press number 3, and we select 1 for on. Now we have our score and our frequency column. What we're going to do is we're going to add this set of data to our calculator and find the mean and standard deviation. Well, to start off with, I enter the data, so I go, first score was 1 equals 2 equals 3 equals 4 equals. Once I've entered my scores, I use my arrow buttons and I go around and I can add the frequency. So the score 1 had a frequency of 7, score 2 had a frequency of 6, 3 had a frequency of 3, 4 had a frequency of 2. Now that all my data is added, I press the AC button. Now what I want to do, I want to check that I've entered all my data. To do that, I press Shift 1 4, and here I select option 1. N represents the number of scores in the data set. Here you can see the calculator says 18, and if we check our table from before, we can see that the sum of our frequencies was 21. So I'm missing some scores. What I need to do is go back and check my data. To do that, I press Shift 1 2. Here my data table is brought up and I use my arrow buttons to go through and see what I've missed. I've missed the score 5, and 5 had a frequency of 3. Now that I've got all my data in my calculator, I can go through and find the mean and standard deviation. To find the mean, I press Shift 1 4 and I select option 2 equals. That is the mean of the data. Now if I want to find the standard deviation, I press Shift 1 4 and I'm left with two options, this one and this one. Option 3 is the population standard deviation. I use that when I know everything about the data. I know that data comes from a census and it includes everyone. 3 equals. That's my population standard deviation. If I know my data only comes from a small sample of a group, I'll use sample standard deviation. To do that, we press Shift 1 4 and here we select option 4, which stands for sample standard deviation, and that's my sample standard deviation.